Why do people act the way they do? Seriously. And why does it often feel like there's this invisible rule book for, social dynamics? One that nobody ever gave you. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to cut through some of that noise. We want to extract the core insights from a really fascinating source, a detailed review of Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. The goal here is to give you a kind of shortcut, a way to understand those often hidden forces shaping our interactions, and hopefully give you some tangible tools to navigate the social world with, more clarity, without feeling totally overwhelmed by it all.
That's absolutely right. And the source material for this deep dive, it's this comprehensive look at Greene's 20-key book. It's definitely positioned less as, a casual read.
Yeah.
And more like a rich, dense, really thought-provoking manual for understanding human behavior.
Mm-hmm. And Robert Greene, he's known for this, right? A master strategist. He has this way of blending historical examples, psychological principles, and these strategic insights. We saw it in the 48 Laws of Power and Mastery. So what's the big ambition with this one? The Laws of Human Nature.
Yeah, good question. This book, it aims for what Greene famously calls ruthless clarity. Clarity about human behavior, both your own and, crucially, other people's. And it is a substantial read. We're talking nearly 600 pages.
Wow.
But, that's what this deep dive is for. We're going to distill its essence, pull out those key takeaways for you.
Okay, 600 pages. So how does he structure all that wisdom? How's it organized?
Well, it's built around 18 distinct laws. Each one focuses on a fundamental aspect of human behavior.
18 laws. Okay.
Exactly. So, for example, the very first one is the law of irrationality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about, people are irrational. It's about mastering your own emotional self, building defenses against your impulses.
So practical application from the start.
Very practical. He gives strategies like recognizing what he calls your lower self impulses, practicing rational responses, understanding why we have these biases. Then you've got the law of narcissism, which is about turning self-love into empathy.
Yeah.
Or the law of role-playing, seeing through people's masks.
Masks, okay. We'll come back to that one.
Definitely. Then there's the law of envy. Beware the fragile ego. The law of covetousness, channeling desire productively. The law of short-sightedness, rising above immediate emotional reactions. The law of defensiveness, how to disarm people with strategic honesty. The whole journey through all 18, it's really about achieving deep self-awareness and ultimately a kind of mastery over social dynamics.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more then. Beyond just the structure, what are the core revelations here? What are those real nuggets of insight, the things that might genuinely shift your perspective on how people operate?
Well, I'd say the first big theme, maybe the most foundational, is that people are primarily emotional, not rational. Greene argues most human behavior, even stuff we rationalize later, is actually driven by these deep emotional forces, not pure logic.
Right. You see that all the time.
You do. Think about someone making a seemingly logical choice that just blows up. Later you realize, it was fear or pride or some hidden ambition driving it. Greene helps you spot those hidden drivers, not just in others, which is useful, but really importantly, in yourself.
So you don't get blindsided by your own reactions.
Exactly. That self-awareness piece is huge.
Okay. And then you mentioned masks earlier, this idea that everyone plays a social role. It sounds a little cynical, maybe.
It can. Yeah, it can seem that way at first. That's the second theme. Everyone wears a mask. We all adopt personas, play roles to fit in, protect ourselves, achieve goals, whatever it is. Greene teaches you to look beyond the surface. Read body language, tone, those little micro behaviors he talks about.
Like what kind of things?
Like a quick eye movement, a tiny shift in posture, maybe a tremor in the voice. Things that can give away underlying feelings or intentions, even when someone's trying hard to hide them. But the point isn't just to be cynical and call everyone fake. It's about understanding the function of the mask in that moment.
Yeah.
And also how your own masks might be coming across. It makes you ask, what is authentic interaction? How much are we really showing?
That's a deep question. Okay, what's next?
So third theme, narcissism. It's normal, he argues, but also potentially dangerous. Everyone has narcissistic tendencies, that sort of natural self-focus. It's baked in to some degree.
Right.
But the key to getting beyond petty ego stuff, to actually building influence, is developing empathy, real self-awareness, shifting from just what's in it for me to genuinely trying to understand what makes them tick.
Okay. And the next point, this was one that really jumped out at me from the review, the idea of envy, how common it is.
Yes, the law of envy. And Greene stresses it's universal, but often hidden, very well hidden.
Why is it so important?
Because, he argues, it's one of the most destructive emotions out there. It can poison relationships, lead to sabotage, passive aggression, often from people you wouldn't expect. Learning to spot the subtle signs, maybe praise that feels off or veiled criticism, sometimes even pity that can protect you, it gives you real insight into hidden dynamics.
Wow. Okay, so irrationality, masks, narcissism, envy. What's the fifth key theme?
The fifth one ties a lot of this together.
Yeah.
You can influence people, but, and this is the crucial part, only if you truly understand
So
them.
it's not about force.
Not at all. Influence doesn't come from bullying or just having the best idea. It comes from reading motivations, maybe mirroring their values subtly, appealing to their deeper desires, even their fears sometimes. It's a fundamental shift, really, away from direct confrontation and towards this insightful understanding of what drives people, how to align with those drives.
And Greene really hammers these points home with some memorable lines, doesn't he? The review highlighted a few powerful quotes.
Oh, absolutely. He has a knack for phrasing that just sticks. One that really stands out is, understand, people will constantly attack you in life. One of their main weapons will be to instill doubts in you about your worth, your abilities, your potential.
Oof, that's quite direct. A reminder to stay resilient.
Definitely. Build that inner fortress.
And there is another great one linked to that emotional mastery we talked about.
Yes. Be the calmest, most patient person in the room, and you will own the room.
That's powerful, isn't it? It suggests calm isn't passive.
Exactly. It's not just about feeling calm inside. It's about how that projects outwards. It creates a presence. It draws people in. Instead of pushing them away with reactivity, it's an active calm, a real testament to inner composure in any social situation.
Any other quotes that capture the essence?
Well, there's one that ties into the hidden behavior and influence themes. The most toxic people will never overtly attack you. They use charm, flattery, or guilt to control.
Right. Speaks to that insidious side of manipulation.
Precisely. The covert stuff.
Okay, so taking all this in, what does it mean for someone thinking about actually reading the book? What are its big strengths? And, are there any limitations to be aware of?
Good question. On the strengths side, first off, it's incredibly historically rich. Each law isn't just stated, it's illustrated with these fascinating deep dives into historical figures. Pericles, MLK, Queen Elizabeth I, loads of examples.
So it makes the ideas concrete.
Very much so. Second, it's psychologically sharp. The insights into behavior, power dynamics, envy, manipulation, emotional intelligence, they feel genuinely illuminating. You read it and think, that's what was going on there.
And it's practical too, right? Not just theory.
Absolutely. That's a key strength. Every chapter ends with keys to human nature, which are basically application tips, and also a section called reversal, telling you what not to do, the pitfalls to avoid. So ultimately, it's geared towards both self-mastery and social mastery. It's as much about knowing and improving yourself as it is about reading others.
Okay, but what about the downsides? The limitations?
Well, let's be honest. It's dense and heavy. This is not a light weekend read you breeze through.
It requires some commitment.
Definitely. It demands patience, reflection. Each law needs time to digest, to really think about how it applies. You can't just skim this one. And another point, which the review also touches on, is the tone. Greene's writing can sometimes feel cold, maybe cynical.
How so?
He presents human nature very unvarnished, very unsentimental, which can be jarring for some readers. It doesn't pull punches about our darker impulses. And this, I think, raises an important question about how you choose to use this kind of knowledge. Is it for manipulation or for wiser navigation and understanding?
That's a really crucial distinction, isn't it? The intent behind applying these laws. So given all the depth, the insights, the potential challenges, why should you, the listener, care about these laws? Who is this deep dive and the book itself really for?
Well, I think it's ideal for a few groups. Professionals trying to navigate office politics, for sure. Entrepreneurs, leaders, anyone needing to understand and guide people effectively. Also, anyone just fascinated by psychology or history will find tons here. But honestly, it's for anyone serious about personal growth emotionally, socially, strategically. It's for people who want to see the world and themselves maybe a bit more clearly, as it is, not just as they wish it were.
And how might someone apply this stuff in everyday life? Any specific examples?
Sure. You could use the law of role-playing, say, to get better at spotting insincerity, maybe in new colleagues or acquaintances, figure out their real intentions. Or you could apply the law of defensiveness when you get criticism. Or when you need to persuade someone gently, you learn to acknowledge their viewpoint first, disarm them a bit.
Makes sense.
The law of grandiosity could help keep your own ambitions grounded, stop you from overreaching. And the law of self-sabotage, That's about understanding your own fears and biases to build resilience. Lots of practical angles.
It sounds incredibly comprehensive. Our source review rated it very highly, didn't it?
Extremely highly, a 9.5 out of 10. And it described it as not just a book, but a manual for life.
Manual for life.
Yeah. The takeaway was that it genuinely helps you see people as they really are, protect yourself from manipulation, and maybe even build deeper connections, because you understand those invisible forces driving behavior. It's definitely positioned as one of those books you reread every few years. You'll always find something new about others and about yourself.
Definitely food for thought.
So maybe to leave you with a final thought to mull over, think about a recent interaction you had. Anything, big or small. Applying some of Greene's ideas just for a moment. What unconscious emotional drive might have been at play? What hidden mask, perhaps? What short-sighted impulse? Either in the other person or, just as importantly, in yourself.
Right. And the goal isn't judgment.
Not at all. It's about gaining that ruthless clarity Greene talks about. Just seeing things a bit more clearly in your own daily experience.
Well, that certainly gives us a lot to think about. We encourage you to continue your own deep dive, maybe explore these laws further, or just start observing human behavior with this new awareness. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning,